RenderForest.com.
Hi all, I'm Trisha Peach, host of the Peach Buzz. I'm so excited that you're back with us this week. I heard some great things about my last blog that a lot of you enjoyed that. I am excited today to be talking to you about what do you do when you have first-time visitors at your church. What are the best strategies to get them to come back and visit your church again? But first, I'm excited. If you follow Brian Dollar's blog this next week, he's going to be giving a review of my latest book. I'm the author of Your Children's Ministry from Scratch, Your Children's Ministry Beyond Basics, and now Why We Quit. The real reasons why ministry leaders tend to quit. 80% of them quit before year 5, which is terrible. And we want to change these statistics. We want to change this to keep our ministry leaders in for the long haul. And that includes your key volunteers, that includes your senior pastors, student ministry pastors. We want them to stop leaving ministry. So get one for yourself and your team and your senior pastor. Check out Brian Dollar's review, his blog this next week. He's actually doing a giveaway for several free book giveaways. So make sure you are on board for that. Okay, our subject for today is first-time visitors. And if you're having a first-time visitor, several first-time visitors, good for you! Congratulations! That is not the norm for every church. A lot of churches are trying desperately to get first-time visitors in the door. And if you have them, then for heaven's sake, don't neglect them and do the right things to try to make sure that they come back, right? So what can we do to make sure that these first-time visitors come back? That they visit our church again. All right, number one, you need to know this, that your best key places to make connections with your brand new first-time visitors is way before your worship and sermon. A lot of pastors get depressed when they hear this, but the statistic is something like 70% of your first-time visitors will decide if they're coming back within the first 12 minutes on your property. This is depressing for most senior pastors because at that point they haven't even heard your awesome worship team and they didn't hear your amazing sermon yet. I can tell you what they did find. They saw your parking lot team, your greeter team, the outside of your building, and in many cases they saw your children's ministries check-in. Why is your children's ministries check-in so important? Now, some of the student ministries and lead pastors just started to tune me out. No. Here's why this is so important. When you have those little connection cards, I know, I worked for 17 years full-time as a children's pastor in a large church. We would have those connection cards, and I can't tell you how many times new visitors would say, "My name is Bob Wilson." No contact information at all. Part of the reason for that was the whole information stealing thing. They're a hacker. They don't want you to know too much about them, or they may not want you contacting them. So they don't put contact info. So you're going, well, what am I supposed to do with this? I don't have an email, I don't have a phone number. So this has been a bane of churches for a long time. How do we get correct contact info? Well, one of your best places is in the children's ministries area. If this is a family with children, that's the one place they will always put correct information in full, is because that's their child. They want you to be able to contact them if there's something wrong with their child. So for us, our best visitor follow-up and visitor contact has always come from the children's ministries area. Secondly, if you use those cards, which is a great idea, some churches have everybody fill one out every week. You just have to understand some people just aren't going to do it no matter what you say. You can have people fill it out every week, which is wonderful. One church, my own pastor's wife, by the way, had this idea. It's just a great idea. She said they won't allow them to pick up their gift, their new visitor gift, unless they turn in that connection card filled out. That's another great idea. If they're going to get something for it, you have a better chance that they're going to fill it out in full. So that's another idea you can use. Have your best, happiest people people. I'm a people person. On the door to shake hands and smile. You don't want somebody grumpy and grouchy. The number one reasons that brand new visitors, first time visitors don't come back, I think we need to listen to that. Some of the top reasons that they give are, number one, no one greeted me or shook my hand. I think that's a little lame. That, okay, nobody shook my hand, I'm never coming back. But we do need to think about that. If they don't feel welcomed, if they don't feel like someone wants them there, then they may not come back. Okay. Second reason that was given was no one followed up on me. This is huge. This is huge because they'll say, I filled out a card, but nobody called me, nobody sent me anything, so they obviously didn't want me to come. Now, I'm an extrovert. I would not take it that way. I would just be like, okay, I filled out a card, whatever. But for a lot of people, that is incredibly hurtful that they were not contacted after they gave their information and you did not contact them. My former senior pastor, his rule was, if you will not commit to follow up on every single one of these that signed up, then I'm not going to let you have them anymore at all for any of your areas. Because he said, we're wasting our time if we're doing this and nobody's following up. And he was right. So what we had to do was be intentional about blocking off the time, blocking off an entire day. Sometimes have some volunteers come in and call everyone on that list. Don't underestimate the power of a personal phone call. I know a lot of churches, including ours, do letters, which is great. Letters are awesome. I think those are awesome. Emails are great. But don't underestimate the power of a personal phone call. I think we can get to be so large of a church that we lose that personal connection. And a lot of people that did come back said that it was because someone gave them a personal phone call. Especially, I'm in Wisconsin, the Midwest nice, they called me, I don't want to disappoint them. So they have a higher chance of showing up if you give them an actual phone call. Pick up the phone. Don't underestimate the power of a personal contact, a personal phone call. Next, I want to talk about how you get your new people through that process. One of the best ideas I've seen is with a personal new guest check-in. And when you have a new guest check-in, you need to make it look nice, not abandoned where the tumbleweeds are blowing with a desk from the 70s. I mean, really nice. Like, we did ours for a while with lights. We had lights and balloons and exciting posters. Hey, come here. So that you don't make a new guest wait in line forever. That was another of the key reasons why a new guest did not come back, was when they went to check in their child, they had to wait in line what they considered an extremely long time. So this means, I don't care if you're the children's leader or the senior leader or whoever, somebody needs to be streamlining that check-in process for parents that are bringing in their children. Because, mark my words, if they have to wait that long, they will not be back. They will not be back. So you can think that's petty all you want, but we don't like waiting in line at Starbucks. We don't like waiting in line one car for getting our gas. We're Americans. So people, if they have to wait to check in their child too long, they're not going to come back. So what can you do to balance safety and at the same time streamline that process? Some churches have done self-service kiosks so that your regulars can go through the self-service kiosk. You can add another kiosk. But you need to streamline that process. And at your new guest services check-in, a really good idea is to have a designated person that will take them around and give them a tour. Take them to go see the church and know how the procedures are. We take for granted that everybody knows our check-in systems. Everybody knows how our service goes because we've been doing this for years. No, they don't know how it goes. No, they don't know where they're supposed to be. No, they don't know all the little idiosyncrasies that your church knows. Have, again, a people person that can give them a tour, show them around, make them feel included. One of the number one reasons that first-time visitors came back was they knew at least one person. And at least one person was going to be willing to sit with them or check up on them, or they had someone they could ask a question. And you may say, oh, I'm open for questions. Anybody can ask me a question. Do they know that? They may not. So having a designated person at that new family check-in is so crucial, so that they know somebody, they know a face, they know someone they can ask questions of. That's extremely important. Okay, again, what kinds of things? I think it's a great idea to have a new guest gift. I do. And here's why. One of the reasons it's a great idea to have a new guest gift is that every time they use it, I suggest utilitarian things, not just a postcard. They're going to throw that in the trash. I'm saying like a mug. I've seen mugs, pens, keychains, something they will use, because if they use it, they're going to see the name of your church and remember your church. I would say that's a great idea. Pens, cups, keychains. A postcard, the only success that we've had with postcards, this was my husband's idea, we put a coupon on the back from a local business. So it helped the local business, and it gave us a tie, a good connection, and people didn't just throw it right in the trash, because it had a valuable coupon on the back, $5 off for our local pizza place. So what kind of connections can you make with your local people to give them something valuable on the back there? Some other really important things that people didn't come back was they felt that there was so much going on around them that they had no idea what was going on, meaning there were so many inside jokes from the pulpit, kind of like, well, you know Uncle Frank, how he is, and we all remember what happened at the last potluck, and everybody laughs except for this person, and they feel extremely left out, and they do not feel like they could catch up with this. It is so insider oriented, they can't catch up. So we want to make sure that happens. Another reason that first-time visitors don't come back is they don't feel like the church is out doing anything. So if they can see, hey, we have this outreach team going on, we have openings on the worship team, we have openings. I'm not saying take a first-time visitor and throw them in a place of leadership immediately. No. You should have a waiting period. You should have training and high standards, yes. But if they don't believe there's any hope in the near future of having anywhere to serve, they may look elsewhere. And I know that feeling. I'm a children's pastor, and I go to a church, and if I feel like there would not be anywhere for me to serve or use my giftings here in the near future, I'm not going to hang around. I'm going to go find somewhere else that I can help, that I can serve. So that's a really big deal. So these are a few of the things that can help people come back. But my biggest one, and this is what I'll finish with, and this is really important. This one was one of the best ideas we ever had, and it was called the buddy system. Let me explain. Our 5th and 6th graders, you know how 5th graders, if they're in kids' church, they're kind of already antsy and wiggling, and I am so too cool to be here right now. So we gave them a job. These 5th and 6th graders became buddies for our new families and our new kids, and ongoing for our special needs kids. So a lot of them would sit one-on-one with these new kids and new people and special needs kids, help them learn the motions to the songs, show them where they're supposed to go. Okay, it's 10:20. Where are we supposed to go right now? Oh, large group is breaking up small group. Where do I go? Oh, I don't know the motions to this song. This is what the buddy is for. And this was so beneficial because our buddy team grew in compassion. They became outreach minded. These 5th and 6th graders went, this is my ministry. We have them in matching t-shirts, and they pray before every service. One of them even told me she wants to work with special needs people now as a calling. She feels like that's what God's calling her to. So God can use that in a really, really big way. Now, I would say whatever you have, even for adults, somebody that can sit near and try to help them with stuff. I would say don't humiliate people. Some people hate that. If they're a first-time visitor and you make them stand and introduce themselves. My son, that'd be the last time he'd be there. He'd be gone and he would not come back. I think my husband might be the same way. They're more shy, more introverted. that wouldn't go well for them. But do offer them that help and resource. And I guess one final tip I'd give would be try to anchor them in a reason to come back. This is the time to talk about, here's the next big event we have coming up. If you're a big church, you probably have 27 events coming up this week. But whatever your next one is it your kids' Christmas production? Is it Easter? Is it summer camp? Is it your fall kickoff? Whatever it is. And say, this is what's next. Will you please come here for this? Make it specific. Not, well, we hope we see you again someday. No, give them a specific thing. We want to see you back for this, and here's a flyer on it, and on the back of the flyer, there's a coupon. You can put it next to your brand new keychain once we get your contact info. And then do make sure to contact them that week. Personal phone call. I hope this has been helpful. These are just a few tips for first-time visitors because we want them to come back. What are your best tips? How are you reaching first-time visitors? I want to know. Please comment below, and this will be the subject of my blog this week. And again, if you haven't checked out the book, check out Why We Quit, available right now on Amazon.com, and going to be given away in Brian Dollar's contest this next week. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. Share all you want. We love you guys. Thank you for what you do. See you next week on The Peach Buzz.